We are almost at the end of Chanuka, and it's the struggle of the cultures of the Greeks and the Jews. It seems like it's ongoing all the time. Whether it's even today, sitting down learning Torah, going to work learning Torah. There's ongoing conflicts all the time. And one might ask the question and say, listen, Yakov Avinu maybe is the one to go to. He combined both. He learned, and then he dropped everything and he went to work. Any? Really? Let's see what happens. We need to understand that. Because the story of Chanuka, or the struggle of Chanuka and the struggles that we have today, could be understood how to deal with if we really look at Yakov. What exactly happened here? Yakov, we all know both the Bechorah, or the rights for the Bechorah from Esav. He goes for 14 years. He does sit down. He learns Torah all the time. He runs out. Esav wants to kill him. He runs out. He goes to Tzfat, to the cave of Shem and Ever, the Yeshiva there. Today is near the Rabbanut in Tzfat, if anybody is interested. He sits there and learns for 14 years. Personally, I cannot blame him. I would like to learn in Tzfat also for 14 years. That would be wonderful. But nevertheless, he sits there for 14 years. He goes to Lavan, the famous story. He sees Rachel, comes to the wedding, gets Leah. Now the problem starts. Yakov Avinu. You get up in the morning, you find Leah. What's the matter with you? Go to Beit Din. Say, excuse me, mekach ta'ut. I wanted this one. They gave me that one. He didn't even say a word. So, okay, I want Rachel. Okay, 7 more years. Okay, not a problem. I'll work 7 more years. Yaakov knew that it should have been the oldest girl to the oldest boy, the youngest girl to the young boy. So now that he took the Bechorah from Esav, guess what? He took Leah. So okay, you're right. What can I tell you? You're right. She is my portion. Nah. He goes to work, and he works, and from the words of Yaakov, when he confronts Lavan, he says, for all these years, I didn't sleep. And really, he worked around the clock. He worked around the clock. And he walks around the clock, and then he runs away, and then he fights with the malach of Esav, and so on and so forth. That's like weird. It really is weird. It's like, what's going on here? So one needs to know that the bracha that the Avot, Yitzchak and Rivka, had in mind to give for Esav was a little different. It was supposed to be to balance out Yaakov and Esav a little bit. Yaakov, that now inherited Esav, now has to do that as well. He was doing his part as Yaakov, sitting down, learning, and so on and so forth. That he did perfectly fine. But now that he inherited the part of Esav, he needs to work as well. He needs to be physical, to go to work, and on and on and on. At the end comes the Malach of Esav, and fights with him on that as well. And he says, I can't beat you. He kind of gives him a little disconnects his hip a little bit, but he can't win him. In other words, Yaakov now became shalem, became complete. He was able to be metaken, Esav as well. And you see that really when they meet, Yaakov and Esav meet, what happens? Esav doesn't do anything to him. On the contrary, he picks up some stuff and goes. The tikkun of Esav is complete, that in a way Esav does not exist anymore as a part of the whole thing. He picks his stuff and he goes, why is Israel so small? I mean, how much cattle they had that they couldn't, fit in the whole entire country? But Esav has no negia, no connection to this place anymore. And he picks his stuff and he goes. He says that Yaakov is complete, and he goes. We need to understand exactly what happened here. And that was the fear, as we said yesterday, that was the fear, one of the fears of Yaakov, that Binyamin will go down. The influence of Mitzrayim and its filth on it. Many times we say, all right, if it's not for yeshiva, I'm just going to go to work. But when you go to work, you never learn anymore. You need to create a balance. You can only go to work, you can only do the Esav work, or the Esav part, only after that beforehand you finished to do the Yaakov part. The Ishtam Yoshev Oalim. You need to sit down and you need to learn. And then if it happens and you need to go to work, only after you did the Ishtam Yoshev Oalim, only after you learned. Because if you don't, the Esav part will overwhelm you, will take over you. And you need to remember that. The struggle that happened in Chanuka, as we said many times, the main battle was, yes, there were those Assyrian army, they came in, and they were fighting with camels and so on and so forth, and the heroic battles that, if you would sit down and simply just analyze the battles of Yehuda Maccabi, it's amazing. I mean, the guy was a fantastic leader, and upon his death, people mourned. That was the end of the glory of Bet Hashmonai, which we explained. The Maccabim were the sons of Matityahu, but the Hashmonaim not necessarily were the Maccabim. The Hashmonaim were the descendants of the Maccabim. Now there is a question you should just know, it's like a side point, that when they refer to Yehuda HaMaccabi, even though it's written with a chaf, not with a kuf, but nevertheless, makevet is a hammer. So he was known to be like a feisty warrior, fearless warrior. It was called makevet. So that's one understanding of what is. Yeah, everybody likes to see Mika Mocha Ba'elim Hashem, but that's later on. Makevet is a hammer, sledgehammer. So upon his death, people mourned because he was a very popular leader. He was a leader that went to war. It wasn't a leader that sent others to war. And the heroic death of his brother Elazar when he pierced the elephant with and stopped basically in the valley where he stopped the army from coming in and created a trap for them, which is an old Jewish trick. But nevertheless, you need to understand that it doesn't have to be this or this. Your choice from the beginning should be, I don't give up on Torah. If you're going to give up on Torah, you're going to be lost. Especially here and especially now. And don't think in Israel you won't be lost either. You can't just give up on Torah. Because once you do that, Esav will take over you. The spiritual battle at the end at the end of the time. These are all struggles that Yaakov had to go through, different stages of evolvement in the struggle that we face with the other side, with the Esav part in us. After all, they were twins. Each and every one of us has the Yakov inside of him and has the other twin, the Esav, inside of him. One wants to throw all kind of everything behind and just be completely physical. And the other one who wants to be Ishtam Yoshev Ohalim. Once you throw this Torah away, once you throw the Yaakov side, the end, the spirit, it will be gradual. There's going to be a war, and the war is always internal. And there's going to be, at the end, a spiritual loss that the end, the angel of Esav will take over you. And we all know that one of the angel of Esav, one of the descendants of Esav is Amalek, and the Amalek is the doubt. So therefore, Esav would win you, first of all, with doubts it will put inside of you, whether what I'm doing is right, whether what I'm doing is new, whether the rabbis make it or they didn't make it. Like as I told you, I met this guy in Israel. He was contemplating for years, why does he have to put tefillin? Because he heard a lecture that tefillin were created in the Second Temple era. Of course, he heard it from a secular Jew that had nothing to do with tradition, but nevertheless, even if it's only from there, even, which is not, and if it's only from there, it's a 2,000-year-old tradition, and you just want to throw it out of the window. It's not that he wants to throw it out of the window, because any other nation in the world would be proud in a 2,000-year-old tradition. They will be proud in a 200-year-old tradition. But what is it that he's asking? He's not asking, he has doubts. Is this Amalek taken slowly, ground in him? And at the end it will overwhelm him spiritually by the angel of Esav. And the angel of Esav, we know according to the Kabbalah, affected the right side, the right thigh, which Kabbalistically is oriented with prophecy. And then prophecy stopped. There was no prophecy. There was Ruach HaKodesh, was enlightenment, but there was no prophecy. From the time that Hashem spoke to Yaakov Avinu until Moshe Rabbeinu, there was no prophecy. Think about it. There was no prophecy. And Moshe Rabbeinu was the exception. And that problem of prophecy extended further because there was a blemish. And then we had an opportunity. We had an opportunity to fix it. Since it was the right side, we needed who to go there? Somebody from the right side to fix it. And who is the right side? Who? Ben Binyamin. Yaakov did not want Binyamin to go down because he knew that the problem would be a complete overwhelming of Binyamin and the total loss of any potential of prophecy coming back to Am Yisrael. And it continued, that situation had continued until the time of Shaul. Shaul was from Shevet Binyamin. And Shaul was supposed to do what? Kill Agag. He killed Amalek, the nation, but he left Agag. Agag HaAmaleki. And he didn't kill him. He had some doubt. Maybe I shouldn't kill him. He's a king, Meanwhile, this Agag, while he was in custody, was able to get a couple of women pregnant. Comes Shmuel, slices his throat. What happens? All of a sudden, we find a few sentences later, Hagam Shaul Banevim. Prophecy just went down like a flood. And everybody started to prophesy. Even those who were Bnei Nevi'im. Bnei Nevi'im were the people who practice different techniques for the times to come to be able to be worthy of prophecy. They will prophesize and they will get into a prophetic trance with music, and we find with flute and cymbal and so on and so forth. Might give you a little bit. You need to do some biblical archaeology, a spiritual archaeology, to understand exactly what happened there. And then the tikkun still needed to be complete. There was one left over from this Amalek that needed to be taken care of, Ha'agagi. And who is this Agagi? Haman. Haman Ha'agagi. Haman Ha'agagi was taken care of by who? Who? Mordechai HaYehudi. Ish Yemini. He was from Shevet Binyamin. He completed the cycle of tikkun that needed to be fixed. If you wonder, and we'll do it Be'ezrat Hashem tomorrow, simply forgot to bring it, it's long. If you wonder why in Ma'os Tzur Yeshuati there is, which is a song of Chanuka, has a reference to Haman Ha'agagi, that is the reason. And you should know that the battle was already won. The way was already set of how to live your life in true balance. But before you do that, you need to understand that the basis for this balance lays, first of all, completely on your dedication, a complete dedication to learning. So we ask me, so why don't we win the battle? It's very simple. Why we have to fight again? Because we choose to disable the balance and to start it all over again. The war was done already. This battle between us and Esav was won by Yakov taking over completely and doing the complete tikkun, the complete fix-up. He was metaken the portion of Esav as well. He was metaken that portion as well. But it's that our choice to create the internal imbalance all the time, to make us go through it over and over and over again. And the war against the Greeks was not the Greeks. There were Assyrians. But the main war of the Hashmonaim was an internal war of the people themselves, between the Jews and the assimilated Jews. Those who we wanted to throw away Torah and want to become completely Greek, to Greekify themselves. Completely. Saying that Torah is old-fashioned. Meanwhile, the Greek culture, to a certain extent, is gone, and we as Jews still sitting here and we're learning Torah. Why? For those who decided to dedicate themselves completely for Torah, because if it wasn't for them, we would not have been here. And now, Rabotai, the torch is in your hand. Now it's your call. How are you going to handle this? How much of your time are you going to sanctify and dedicate to Torah, and how much are you going to simply wash it away and turn it Greek? We have 2 more candles to light for Chanuka. When you light the candles today, when you light the last candle tomorrow, you need to do a din v'cheshbon. You need to give account of your effort for Torah, for the world of Torah. or give an account for what you do for the people, for the Jewish people. What is your contribution to the Jewish people? What is your contribution to the Jewish community? Are you reaching out? Or are you just taking care of your 4 amot, of your little domain? And this is an account. You don't want to be the last of the Mohicans. They're not going to make a movie out of you. Don't worry. There's an account that you have to give. And Chanuka is not just about donuts and latkes and lighting the menorah and singing Maoz Tzur Handel style. Chanuka is a time for din v'cheshbon, to evaluate what is the state of the Jewish nation. Where are we holding? And now it is your watch. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to stand still with a torch in your hand? Are you going to become a beacon of light in this darkness of the world outside? Or are you just going to be just another one? Just another person? Just another number? So Rabotai, v'Chanuka Sameach, get into your fighting mode. You need to learn how to wrestle, how to hustle, but never let go of your Torah. Never. This is your life. Even if it's just for those who sacrifice their lives so we can be here, you owe it to them. But more so, you owe it to the people who come after you. Have a Chanuka Sameach and get your warrior spirit back again.